Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, coming to you live and direct, Hotlanta, Georgia. I am back. First lecture since last year, third day of Kwanzaa, December 2017, to be exact. I will be speaking today at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, here in Atlanta, Georgia. The doors open up at 5 p.m. and my lecture, as I am now learning, is at 7 instead of 6. So, come through, show support. It is a fundraiser for the Shrine of the Black Madonna. I am not hosting. That is to say that I've received a lot of text messages this morning asking if children are free. I cannot answer that question because I am not sponsoring the event. I am the keynote, but I am not the sponsor. So if you have questions about tonight's program at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and there will be opening acts, if you have questions, please call 404-549-8676. I repeat, 404-549-8676. I have not yet received word that the event has sold out. I don't think it has just yet. But if you need tickets, you can text me for the ticket link. I'm assuming at some point they'll take the ticket link down and you'll be able to get your tickets at the door. From what I understand, the tickets are $25 ahead of time and $30 at the door. That is my understanding. $25 online, $30 at the door. If you need the ticket link, you can text me 215-989-9858. Again, 215-989-9858. So again, that's tonight. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be speaking at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, 7 p.m. Doors open up at 5. Tickets online are $25, at the door $30. Vendors will be in the house. Questions about free children and free elders, I cannot answer because I am not the host. Please give the brothers and sisters at the Shrine of the Black Madonna, the good brothers and sisters, a call, 404-549-8676. Looking forward to seeing my Atlanta family tonight, my Georgia family tonight. And then tomorrow, Sunday, July the 8th. Tomorrow, Sunday, July the 8th, for the very first time, Dr. Umar Johnson will be setting foot in the city from which the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s rise to prominence as a black leader took place. And I'm speaking of none other than Montgomery, Alabama. The Prince of Pan-Africanism will be speaking in Montgomery, Alabama, tomorrow, July the 8th. It is my first time ever in the city of Montgomery, Alabama. I will be speaking at the Alcazar Shrine Auditorium, 555 Eastern Boulevard. I repeat, I will be speaking at the Alcazar Shrine Auditorium, 555 Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery, Alabama. Doors open up at 2 p.m. Lecture is at 4. Doors open up at 2 p.m. Lecture is at 4. Tomorrow in Montgomery. All children 17 and under are free. I repeat, at all Dr. Umar lectures, unless otherwise specified. Tomorrow, all children 17 and under are absolutely free. Elders 65 and older are absolutely free. Tomorrow in Montgomery, Alabama. Everyone else, get your tickets, Get your tickets at drumarjohnson.eventb.com. Go and get your tickets right now. drumarjohnson.eventb.com. College students tomorrow. $10 at the door with your current ID. This is only for current students. If you are a college student, $10 at the door with your ID tomorrow in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay? So that's how we rolling. Children 17 and under free, elders 65 and older free, college students with ID, $10 at the door. Montgomery, we going in tomorrow, can't wait. Atlanta, we're going in tonight, can't wait. Now, Sunday, July the 15th, 1 week from tomorrow. Sunday, July the 15th, 1 week from tomorrow. I am scheduled for Suffolk, Virginia. For some reason, those ticket sales have not been as high as all of my other events. So, when I get home Monday from Alabama, I'm going to look at the Suffolk, Virginia sales. And if I don't find them to be to my liking, I'm going to cancel that event. So if you live in Virginia and you plan on coming to see Dr. Umar in Suffolk on Sunday, if you live in the Virginia area, if you live in the Seven Cities area, the Hampton Roads area, the Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk, Hampton, Newport News, Virginia Beach area, and you plan to see Dr. Umar on Sunday, please buy your tickets, because if those sales are not to my liking when I get back to Philadelphia Monday, I will be canceling Suffolk, and everyone who has bought a ticket will get a refund, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want me in Virginia on Sunday, those ticket sales need to start popping off, or I will not be going. Okay? Now, August, because you know we go to Africa for 2 weeks. We will be in Africa July 22nd to August the 6th, Egypt and Ethiopia. Kemet and Abyssinia, July 22nd, August the 6th. It is not too late. If you have the money to go with us to Africa, you can sign up on Monday with Mother Sharifa. So it's not too late, but you need to have payment in full to go with us to the cradle of civilization, the highest human culture in world history. If you're interested, all you have to do is text me or email me. I'll send you Mother Sharifa's information, and you can be with us when that Dr. Papa Black Star Line blasts off from New York City, landing in the cradle of civilization. End of August, I will be making my grand debut at Elizabeth City State University. End of August, I will be making my grand debut at Elizabeth City State University. That's Friday, August the 31st. Friday, August the 31st. Friday, August the 31st. I will be in Elizabeth City State University for the first time. And those of you who know your Garvey history, you know that the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey designated August the 31st as an international holiday for African people. So on the date, the International Holiday of African People, designated by the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, August the 31st, I will be at Elizabeth City State University. And then Sunday, September the 2nd, I will be speaking in Raleigh, North Carolina. So that's a back-to-back North Carolina weekend. That is a back-to-back North Carolina weekend. Friday, August the 31st, Sunday, September 2nd, Elizabeth City and Raleigh. All right? And then on Friday, September 12th, Shreveport, Louisiana for the very first time. Friday, September 12th, Shreveport, Louisiana for the first time. And then we have Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas on Sunday, September 14th. Get your tickets, brothers and sisters. Don't wait to the last minute. Get your tickets. Okay? Get your tickets. drumarjohnson.eventb.com. drumarjohnson.eventb.com. All right? Get your tickets. I am now a caregiver for my mother, who I love, is the main thing I have to live for these days. My mom, Queen Mother Barbara, who I love more than anything in the universe except Supreme Consciousness. Okay? I am caretaker for her now. So whenever I travel, I have to pay my trusted assistants to care for my mom. And so because I need to make sure she is properly cared for, I need to pay them well. And so now when I travel and go to events, I need to make sure that it is worth the trip, because there will be expenses upon my return. So those of you who normally show up at the door, you know, which has not been an issue in the past, it's going to be an issue going forward, because now I need to make sure that you are all coming out so that the trip is worth the while, not only financially, but emotionally and psychologically, because I separate myself from my mom. And as you all know, nobody ever completely feels comfortable unless they're the one actually caring for their own mother. So there's a psychological cost, a guilt cost, not being next to her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then there's the financial cost of providing for her care. So I will start scrutinizing ticket sales going forward. And if they're not to my liking, then the event will be canceled. So if you're coming, procrastination will ultimately lead to a cancellation. Procrastination will lead to a cancellation. Now, of course, my events are well attended. I normally sell out at least 50 to 75% of the time. I'm simply serving notice to you all, so you can't say you did not know that there's more responsibility and more obligation on me now. And as a result of that, you're going to need to be a little bit more adamant about getting your tickets ahead of time so I can know exactly what the situation is. So, with that being said, I am proud to announce that I will be releasing my second book, my new book, which will be released in September. The new book is coming out. Much anticipated, much awaited follow-up to Psychoacademic Holocaust, the Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. I'm asking that all of you pre-purchase your book now. I am asking that all of you pre-purchase your book now. The link is on Facebook. The link is on Twitter. The link is on Instagram. The new book is called Black Parent Advocate, The Art of War for Dealing with Conflicts with Your Child's Public and Charter School. All of you black parents know that you are going to need this book. Every black parent needs to have both Psychoacademic Holocaust and Black Parent Advocate. I repeat, every black parent needs to have Psychoacademic Holocaust and Black Parent Advocate. Okay? So please go ahead and pre-order the book. All right, by clicking on the link, and it will be shipped out to you in September with a free Dr. Umar DVD of my choice, or CD of my choice. Okay, so with that being said, the last thing I want to address before I get into today's topic is questions about the upcoming first annual course of Pan-African Philosophy Leadership Training Colloquium. Yes, we still have seats available. If you are interested in the once a month, 12 hours on a Saturday, once a month. So we will meet for 12 consecutive months on one Saturday each of those months. So we will meet one Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 12 consecutive months from September till August. We will be covering Garveyism, Pan-Africanism, the history of struggle, revolutionary African struggles, leadership, white supremacy, and the list goes on and on. So if you're interested, the only way you can register is through an email to me, drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. All right. And I need to see an autobiographical letter of interest. Who are you and why do you want to participate in this class? Who are you and why do you want to participate in this class? Okay, so you can send that to me. The first class will be September the 8th. Once the class has began, no new students will be added. September the 8th is the first class in Philadelphia, Saturday, September the 8th. I'm excited, looking forward to it. Once the class begins, no new students will be added. Okay, the deadline has been established for August the 1st. If you want to be in this class, then I need to receive your autobiographical letter of interest by August the 1st. All right? So that is where we are. Atlanta tonight, let's do it. I do have some unapologetically African t-shirts, some RBG flags, Psychoacademic Holocaust book. If you already got a copy, buy a copy for your sister, your brother, your niece and nephew who you know are raising children. Stop thinking about yourself. Think about the entire family. Think about your next door neighbor who's having troubles with her children. So, again, you can purchase the book by clicking on the link. All right. Today, I want to talk about 10 questions for black politicians. Today, I want to address 10 questions for black politicians. 10 questions. Okay. As you know, after the death of Dr. King, and I can't wait to get to Montgomery, Alabama tomorrow. I hope I have time early Monday to visit some of the museums before I fly back to Philadelphia. If you live in Montgomery, Alabama, please text me the museums you think I need to check out. If there's any historical places I need to visit from the Montgomery bus boycott, the civil rights era, if you live in Alabama and you know of some places in Montgomery, that I need to make sure I visit, whether it's an old house, an intersection, a historical marker, museum, please let me know because I want to make sure I check it out before I fly back to my mother on Monday. So, after Dr. King was murdered in 1968, there was a significant rise in the black politician population. The black bourgeoisie was recreated by the United States government. And one of the leading populations of that black bourgeoisie was the black politicians. And so today we want to talk about black politicians. Hold on, Instagram. Hold on, Instagram. Hold on, Instagram. You all know I got kicked off of YouTube. Dr. Umar was kicked off of YouTube because some coons, reported me for what? I don't know. None of my videos were inappropriate, but they removed me off Instagram. So anyhow, after they killed Dr. King, the United States government reinvented the black bourgeoisie, the black middle class. One of the major populations of that black middle class was the black politician. The black politician, okay? And they would use that black politician as a gatekeeper, as a protection against the black community's attempt to force justice and equality on the United States government. And with the rise of the black politician from the early 1970s all the way until today, with the rise of the black politician from the early 1970s all the way until today, okay, we have seen the demise of the black community. So the more black politicians we get, the worse off black people become. The more black politicians we get, the worse off black people become. The question is why? Why do we do worse with the more politicians we get? And the reason we do worse is because most black politicians, number one, do not run for office to help black people. They run for office to help themselves. Let me say this again. Most black politicians don't run for office to help black people. They run for office to help themselves. So that's number one. That's number one. 99% of all black politicians are self-serving and clique-serving, okay? Most black top politicians are also elitists. What is a black elitist? A black elitist is a black person, okay, with a arrogant perspective about other black people. They consider themselves to be better than other black people, more important than other black people, and most of all, more cultured than other black people. Now, when I say the black elitist considers themselves to be more cultured than other black people, I'm not talking African culture. I'm not talking Hotep. I'm not talking black consciousness. When I say that elitist blacks consider themselves to be more cultured than other blacks, I'm speaking about European cultured, okay? So black elitists are more European cultured than other black people. In other words, they value white attitude, white theory, white belief, and white lifestyle more than black culture, okay? And their values and viewpoints and core beliefs are very much in line and in keeping with the dominant upper middle class white society. So a black elite, for all intents and purposes, is basically a white person with a black flesh. And many of our politicians are of this ilk. Am I saying every black politician is a sellout? Of course not. There's always a good one every once in a while. But systematically speaking, black politicians are largely in the interest of white politicians. Let me say that again. The average black politician is a servant of white politicians. You would say, how can you say this? You can say this because 99% of all black politicians belong to one of America's major political parties. So if you belong to one of America's major political parties, that also means that you serve the interests of the party that you belong to. Most black politicians are Democrats. Most black politicians are Democrats. So most black politicians serve the Democratic Party and the interests and the agenda of the Democratic Party. So the average black politician is a slave to the agenda of white people, be it the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So most of you know that I generally don't vote. I will never say that I don't vote. I would say I generally don't vote. The reason I would say I would never vote, the reason I would not say I would never vote is because if I find that it is in the interest of my people to vote for a particular candidate for a particular reason, I would do so. Let me say that again. If I find that there is a black politician who I believe has a particular agenda, intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously, that can benefit my community, I would vote. So for me, voting is a strategy. It is not a way of life. Voting is a strategy. It is not a way of life. And because voting is a strategy, like any strategy, you never disqualify any strategy. Every strategy should be evaluated for its effectiveness at that particular time and space. Okay? So you may have a strategy. Violence is also a strategy, which is why I could never say I'm committed to nonviolence. I can never say I'm committed to violence. Okay? And the reason The reason I could never say that, wait a minute. I got this iPhone 8 and I'm trying to figure out. Okay, never mind. So anyhow, violence is a strategy, voting is a strategy, and with any strategy, you don't automatically reject it or embrace it. You evaluate it for its potential effectiveness and its ability to help support your agenda, and that evaluation determines whether or not you're going to move forward with that strategy. It's a tactic. Voting, violence, marching, all of these are strategies and tactics. So I don't automatically discount them. I don't automatically embrace them. It's just like fixing your car. When you're fixing your car, you have a toolbox. When you fix your car, you have a toolbox, right? And if you're trying to change your brakes, you don't just take out one tool and say, this is all I need. You bring the whole toolbox, because you might find in changing your brakes that you need to use a wrench this time, or you might need to use a screwdriver this time, or you might need to use a jackhammer this time, or you might need to use a hammer, or you might need a chisel. You don't know what you're going to need until you get into the action. And the action determines what types of strategies and tactics that we may need. So don't automatically pledge yourself to a tactic or a strategy. And black people make a bad habit. Black people make a very bad habit of pledging ourselves to strategies and tactics without even evaluating their effectiveness for the mission. I said we pledge ourselves to strategies and tactics without actually evaluating their effectiveness for our mission. Let me grab some water. It was raining last night in Atlanta, but now I see the sun coming out. It was raining last night in Atlanta, but now I can see the beautiful sun coming out. And of course, I am a son of the sun. Shout out to all the Leos. Leo season is on the horizon. Leo season is on the horizon. Wow. 1 second, brothers and sisters. I just lost my iPad. Wow, I just lost my iPad. I'm all under the hotel table. Okay, let's see what we got. I don't know how that happened. Okay. I think we're good now. This particular hotel doesn't have enough plugins. I don't like this. They don't have enough places to plug in your devices. So, let's get into the questions to ask a black politician. If they want me to run to vote for them, okay, what are some of the questions that I would have? All right. Question number 1, and these are in no particular order. These are in no particular order. Number 1, what are you going to do to expunge criminal records for returning citizens, ex-offenders, who have paid their debt to society and are not able to get a second chance because their record, their felonies, continue to haunt them and continue to sabotage every attempt at employment, higher education, or any other type of resource that they may need to rebuild their lives. So that's number one. We need to get criminal records expunged for black men and women. We need to get criminal records expunged for black men and women. They need to be given a second opportunity to rebuild their life. I will exclude from that list sexual predators, and I will exclude from that list those who have committed acts of murder that did not take place in the act of self-defense. Murders and sexual crimes, okay, may be excluded from that list. But for everyone else, particularly non-violent drug offenses, selling drugs, the CIA's drugs, those records should be expunged. So number one, what are you going to do about the expungement of those records? That's the first question that I would have for a black politician. Number two, what are you going to do to help black people access working capital from America's banks so that they can build businesses? Jobs are a thing of the past. And the only thing keeping black people working right now is the service industry. Without the service industry, cleaning and security and paperwork and that type of stuff, without service, post office and UPS, without the service industry, I don't know what type of employment predicament black America would be in right now. So if a politician wants me, if a politician, well, I can't. If a politician wants me to vote for them, they must be able to give me a plan of how they plan to help black people systematically access wealth. Systematically access wealth. The reason I'm saying systematically, brothers and sisters, is because a politician will always help a couple black people. Let me say this again. A politician will always find a way to help a couple of black people. I don't care about a couple of black people. I want to know, what are you going to do systematically to impact access to wealth for all black people? Systematically. What system will you put in place that will help all African Americans, American Africans, access wealth in a meaningful way so that we can build business for ourselves? Telling me that you're giving out a couple grants is not a systemic move. Telling me that you help this person build their business, that's not a systemic move. You will always be able to help a couple of individuals. You will always be able to help a couple of individuals. I'm not asking you about a couple of individuals. I'm not asking you about Pookie, who got a t-shirt business, or Nene, who now has her own restaurant. I'm saying that's good, but that's individual support. I'm not asking about individual support. What are you going to do systematically? What system, what procedure, what protocol, what program are you going to put in place so that every black person has an opportunity to get the same help you gave to Pookie and Nene? That's what systematically means. Systematically means every black person has an opportunity to access that resource. If every black person doesn't have an opportunity to access that resource, then that resource has not been implemented systematically. It means that that resource is something you use when you want to help the people you like. I don't care about the people you like. I want to know, what are you going to do systematically to help us? That doesn't mean every black person is going to be served, but it does mean most black people will be served. So anything you're doing that doesn't affect the general, everyday black person, it is not a systemic solution. It is only a Band-Aid that you use at your own leisure to help people who do things for you. And that's how most politicians operate. Most politicians operate on a popularity platform that says, I'm only going to help a few people anyway, but I'm only going to help people, okay? I got an iPhone 8, brothers and sisters, and I'm having trouble being able to block people. When I click on a comment, I just get the smiley face and a thumbs up. How do you block with the iPhone 8? I'm tapping and nothing is happening. Oh well. So anyhow, we need politicians to do things systematically for black people. That's the point. Okay? So number one, what are you going to do to expunge criminal records? That's my first question for black politicians. Number two, what are you going to do to help us access wealth so we can build businesses? In other words, the black politician must have a program to deal with white bank racism. Let me say that again. The black politician must have a program to deal with white bank racism. If a black politician, I don't care if it's a governor, lieutenant governor, president, council person, state rep, U.S. rep, state senator, U.S. senator, alderman, whomever they may be, if they don't have a program to deal with white bank racism, they're useless to us. They are useless to us. Just the other day, I heard that one of America's major banks is being sued by black people for systematic discrimination. And I applaud those who took suit against that bank, because every bank in America needs to be sued for economic discrimination against black people. And it bothers me that we have our money, and this is something we need to change, but we have our money. Most black people's money is in a white bank. Most black business money is in a white bank. Okay, most black organizational money is in a white bank. And these same banks that we give our money to use our money to empower racism and to work against black power. These very same banks that we give our money to use our money to invest in white power and to dissipate black power. And so we have to do something about that. So your politician must have a program to deal with Jim Crow financial practices in America's bank. Okay? Sumter, South Carolina has been postponed. We had an issue with the venue. I will not be in Sumter, South Carolina next weekend. Dr. Umar will not be in Sumter next weekend. That event has been postponed because of an issue with the church. They didn't have a problem with me. It was something with the building, but I will be coming back to Sumter soon, so stay tuned for that. Number three, before I vote for a black politician, they're going to have to tell me, what are they going to do about gentrification? What are they going to do about gentrification? What are they going to do to stop white people from taking over black neighborhoods and putting us out of our neighborhoods? What are you going to do to stop white people from coming into the black neighborhood and taking over our neighborhood? Gentrification. But I call it by its real name, ethnic cleansing. That's what I call it. Residential ethnic cleansing. That's what gentrification is. Residential ethnic cleansing. And if the black politician doesn't have a plan or a program, to help me deal with residential ethnic cleansing, aka gentrification, they cannot get my vote. Now, the irony of this, most of these questions that you should ask your black politician, they won't be able to answer anyway. Why? Because most of these questions go against the very same white power that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is trying to protect. Let me say this again. Most of these questions will go unanswered by your black politician because most black politicians belong to the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is in the interest of protecting established white power. These questions are about, undermining established white power in order to provide black people with opportunity. So when you ask these questions, you're not going to get answers, because to answer these questions would be to undermine the agenda and interests of the Democratic Party, which is why I always say I can't vote for a black person, or I would have trouble voting for a black person who is a Democrat or a Republican. Why? How can I vote for a Democrat or Republican when the Democratic Party and the Republican Party doesn't have any interest in helping black people? Okay? It's just that simple. You belong to a racist organization, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party. You belong to a racist organization, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Since you belong to a racist organization, to vote for you is to vote for your organization, because you're going to do whatever the organization tells you to do. So if a black candidate for me is not independent, if a black candidate for me is not an independent candidate, I cannot vote for them. I cannot vote for them. There we go. You got to hold it down. Okay? You must be independent if you want Dr. Umar's vote. Independent candidate got independent money. Independent candidate has an independent mindset. It doesn't mean everything that they say and do is going to be true. It doesn't mean that they're not a sellout either. But it does mean that they're a little bit more progressive than the average Negro who's a Democrat or a Republican, because guess what? They're never going to go against the party. The party is more important to them than black people. The party is more important to them than black people. Okay? So, expunging criminal records is number one. Helping black people access capital, i.e., what are you going to do about white bank racism? That's number two. Because we know that accessing wealth is what black people need more than ever before. Because there's no more jobs for us. There's no more opportunities for us. We have to make them. Okay, we are an endangered species. The African American is an endangered species. Okay? The African American is an endangered species. Okay? And the only thing that's going to save us is us. So anybody running for office who isn't trying to help black people save themselves is an enemy to black people. I don't want to hear about no government programs, because black politicians love to tell you about some government programs. I don't want to hear about no government programs. I don't want to hear about no government programs, okay? No government programs. All right, what are you going to do? Okay? And then gentrification. What are you going to do to stop ethnic cleansing in our neighborhood? And then next question number 4. Question number 4 of 10. Why aren't you an independent candidate? This is a very powerful question. This is a very powerful question. This is a very powerful question to ask a black Democrat or Republican who wants your vote, can you please tell me why you did not register as an independent candidate? Why did you feel it necessary to join up with the white racist Democratic movement? Why? Especially if you live in a predominantly black city. If you live in a predominantly black town or a predominantly black city, you don't need the white Democratic Party. All you have to do is get to your own black people. Now, if you live in a predominantly white area, I may have to consider your decision. But if you live in a predominantly black city or a city that is almost predominantly black, New York, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, Charleston, South Carolina, Washington, D.C., if you're in a place that is heavily black, you can win as an independent. So why did you choose to register as a Democrat? Because now you're a part of that party. And you're going to have to do what that party tells you to do. Not only are you going to have to do what they tell you to do, you're going to have to support other party politicians who you know are racist and who you know don't have our people in their best interests. And you're going to have to stand next to them. You're going to have to say positive things about them. You're basically going to compromise your own personal integrity. You're going to be forced to compromise your integrity the minute you sign up to be a Democrat or a Republican. Okay? Don't tell me about playing the game. I'm tired of black people talking about they playing the game. Okay? You're not playing the white man's game. The white man's game is playing you. Let me say that again. When you hear Negro talking about, I'm doing this to be spook who sat by the door. No, Negro. You are the spook inside the room, and you are the spook on the team, and you are the spook that they will use to exploit and harm your people. I don't want to hear about playing no game. We did that already, and it don't work. You know why it don't work? Because you can't change an institution. You can destroy it and build it over again, but you can't change an institution. People don't change institutions. Institutions change people. I want to say that one more time. People don't change institutions. Institutions change people. So the first time some Negro come and tell me I'm going to act like a coon until the time is right for me to be an African. I'm going to act like a coon until the time is right for me to show that I'm an African. Act like a coon too long, you become a coon. Act like a coon too long, and you become a coon. I don't want to hear about no more Negro talking about I'm just wearing a disguise. This is not what I really think. This is not who I am. This is not what I'm about. I'm just doing this so I can get inside. You know how many times we done heard that? Do you know how many times we done heard that? Do you know how many Negroes then come across our people telling them that I'm just acting the part? I'm just acting the part until we get what we need. And if you notice, we never, ever get what we need because you're not acting the part. You are the part. That is exactly who you are. The institution has changed you, especially when salaries and grants and funding gets involved. Because ain't no Negro getting a paycheck off of black people's misery is going to convince Dr. Umar Johnson. No Negro getting a paycheck off of black people's misery is going to convince Dr. Umar this is just something you're doing till the time is right. You got a conflict of interest. You have a conflict of interest. And your conflict of interest lies in the fact that you're being paid to sell out your people. So what is more important to you, paying your bills or your people's liberation? What is more important to you, paying your bills or your people's liberation? And that's why any true freedom fighter will make sure that they never get financially involved in anything that is a political contradiction. No true freedom fighter will ever get involved in anything financially that is a contradiction or threat to their people. Any Negro getting paid, I don't care what it is. If you are being paid through a system that is against your people, you are not going to abandon that system. Most of you will never abandon it, because a hungry man is loyal to his stomach before anything else. A hungry man is loyal to his stomach before anything else. And that's because the law of human nature is self-preservation. The first law of human nature is self-preservation. So when the white man introduces something into your life that serves as a conflict between your self-preservation and your people's self-preservation, let me say that again. If the white man introduces something into your life that is a contradiction between your self-preservation and your people's self-preservation, you are going to choose your own stomach. And this is why politically, and for those of you who are going to take the first annual course of Pan-African philosophy, leadership training, we're going to go in real deep on black leadership. We're going to go in real deep on black leadership, and we're going to analyze different types of black leaders, and we're going to analyze different types of leadership styles. And if any of you want to take that course, make sure you send me that email. If you want to take the course, make sure you send the email to drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. The course is not free. The course is not free. Okay? 12 hours over 12 months. One Saturday. 12 hours on one Saturday. We only meet one Saturday a month for 12 hours times 12 months. One Saturday a month for 12 hours times 12 months. Okay? That's 144 course hours. 144 course hours. The course is $1,000, or you can split it up, $600 and $600. If you pay it all up front, it's $1,000, or you can split it up, $600 and $600. Okay? Which works out to something like $2 an hour, I think, for the course. Something like that. It's less than $5 an hour for the course. Okay? It will not be PowerPoint. It will not be online. It must be face-to-face. Okay? I am a Booker T. Washington old school Tuskegee, Alabama throwback educator. Okay? I will not be doing an online course. It will be face-to-face. This is the first annual. Next year, we'll do the second annual. Once a year, you'll get an opportunity to sign up. Okay? Let me get rid of this coon who wants to come on my page. And okay, you blocked, brother. I don't play all that. You talking too much. 1 hate comment, I'll let you ride. 2 hate comments, I'll let you ride. Okay, 3 and 4 hate comments, I'm gonna block you. All right? Don't exploit my followership to try to get attention. Is it accredited? Is it accredited by who? White folks? I think I'm gonna block you too. Because that was the silliest question I ever heard in my life. Is it accredited? What white? First of all, why does it need to be accredited? This is liberation education. This is liberation education. Why does it need to be accredited? This is liberation education. And you're asking me, did I bring some white people in to study my curriculum for my leadership course that I'm creating? Did I bring some white people in to approve what I'm teaching black folks so we can free ourselves? Nigga, you crazy. Let's keep on going, brothers and sisters. Let's keep on going. Okay? So, next question. After you ask them, why aren't you an independent? Your next question is, what are you going to do to limit non-black accumulation of property and business in the black community? So you have gentrification, which is a residential push out. You have gentrification, which is a residential push out, okay? But then you also have to deal with the business gentrification. So the black politician must have a plan. The black politician must have a program. Must have a program. Wait, stop. Adrian Crummell, I see you, sister. And you're telling me that Alexander Crummell, the grandfather of Pan-Africanism, I know him very well. I am very familiar with him. He's the first black man to start an institution of higher learning, a think tank for black men in the United States. He spent more time in Liberia than any of the other fathers of Pan-Africanism except Edward Wilmot Blyden. And you're telling me his school is up for sale. Are you a descendant? Because I see you have the same last name. I'm talking to Adrian Crummell. Sister Adrian, if you are a descendant of Alexander Crummell, even if you're not a descendant of Alexander Crummell, I would love to buy his school. If the Alexander Crummell school is for sale, please text me some information. Please text me some information. Well, you said they're trying to turn it into condos. Well, maybe I can't buy it. I would love to make the Alexander Crummell School the site of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. Could you imagine how powerful that would be? Could you imagine how powerful that would be to make the grandfather of Pan-Africanism school the headquarters for FDMG? Adrian, I need you to text me, sister. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. Shoot me a text, Adrian. We need to talk. I will call you after this live feed. Okay. All right? I hope you're serious. 215-989-9858. Getting back. What is the black politicians going to do to limit non-black accumulation of property and businesses in the black community? And this question links back to question number 2, which is, what are you going to do to help black people access wealth in the black community? What are you going to do to help black people access wealth through America's racist banks? Those two go together, because if black people have access to wealth, if black people can create enterprise and business on their own, then we can automatically prevent the non-African takeover of the black community by buying up all of the available storefronts and vacant business properties in our community. Now let's go to number 6, job creation. Job creation. Businesses are more important than jobs. We know, as I said earlier, America has no jobs for black people. However, there are members of our community who simply don't possess the ability or the fortitude to create a business of their own. So, the black politician must have a strategy for job creation, whether that means bringing in corporations, bringing in businesses, bringing back some factories in our community, which used to be the economic backbone of the black community, factory jobs. You should ask your politician, or do you plan on bringing some factory jobs back to the black community? Because after all, it was the eradication. It was the removal of factory jobs from the black community going back to the 1970s. That was the beginning of the school to prison pipeline. That was the beginning of the destabilization of the black family. That was the beginning of the mass incarceration of the black community. Okay? In fact, what politicians should really do is go to Africa, Okay? Speak with some of the black businesses in Africa. Nigeria has some of the most millionaires in the entire world. Nigeria is home to more millionaires than most countries in Europe. So a progressive and visionary black politician would go to Africa and speak with some of the African businessmen who are in the production field and ask them if they would be willing, come to Camden, New Jersey, and open up your factory. There's a brother who just designed a car. There's another brother who just designed a electronic powered car engine. Are you willing to, with the set asides and tax abatements, are you willing to bring your factory to Camden so we can hire black men and black women to produce your new device, your new item, your product, so that they can get work? So now you're helping the African inventor. You're helping him mass produce his invention. And at the same time, you're providing jobs for black men and black women. That's what we need to do. Because I'm not a big fan of bringing white businesses into the black community. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's get some black millionaires. Let's get some black millionaires to open up some large-scale businesses and factories that can employ hundreds of black folks. That's what the black politician needs to be working on. Okay? Next, I will never vote. I will never vote for a black politician who does not have a program to punish police. Punish police who kill unarmed black men, women, and children. If you walk up to a politician running for office and you ask them, what is your program to address police genocide, and they don't have a program, they should not be voted for. What are you going to do to slow the tide of police exterminations against black people? What are you going to do in my city, my state, this country, to make sure there is never again another Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, and I could be here all day, Eric Gardner, all the brothers and sisters and children and elders who have been murdered by the police unjustifiably. And guess what, brothers and sisters? Guess what, brothers and sisters? They don't have a plan for police genocide. I will bet you my last dollar. I will bet you my last dollar that no black politician who is registered as a Democrat or a Republican, I will bet you my last dollar, no black politician who is registered as a Democrat or a Republican has any interest whatsoever, no program whatsoever to deal with police genocide in our community. I can bet you that. I can guarantee you that. Because the Democratic Party gets so much of its votes and so much of its money from police and teachers. Police and teachers. Police and teachers. That's right, brothers and sisters. And that's why black politicians should always and forever be independent. That's why black politicians should always and forever be independent. Because you will never be able to fight miseducation, and you will never be able to fight police extermination, because the teachers and the police have so many votes, tens of thousands of votes and millions of dollars that they give to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. So the minute a black politician signs on, the minute a black politician signs on to the Democratic or the Republican Party, they can never, ever, ever be unapologetically African. I'm going to say it again. If you are a black Democrat or a black Republican, you can never, ever, 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 ever Be unapologetically African. Okay, did my Facebook freeze? No, there we go. It looks like it went out and came back. Okay? That's why, if you're getting into politics, stop trying to do it the easy way, with white backing, white endorsements, white money. If you got white backing, white endorsements, and white money, then you won't be able to do anything for us. You will be no good to your own people. You will be no good to your own people. You must stay independent. One of the central core tenets of Pan-Africanism, one of the central core tenets of Garveyism is independent political power. Independent political power. Independent political power. If you don't have, and if you're not an independent politician, you are useless. Eighth question for a black politician. Eighth question for a black politician. What are you going to do to increase the amount of black male teachers in our schools? What are you going to do to increase the amount of black male teachers in our schools? What are you going to do to increase the amount of black male politicians, black male teachers in our public and charter schools? What are you going to do? Okay? What are you going to do? They're not going to do nothing, because they belong to the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party don't want no black politician talking about white teacher racism. Let me say it again. The Democratic Party does not want black politicians talking about white female teacher racism against black boys. They don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want it. Okay? So the black politician ain't thinking about taking on racism in the schools. Black politician isn't thinking about taking on racism in the schools. Not even thinking about it. But that's a question you need to ask them, because if you can't answer my questions, I can't give you no votes. We need more black teachers. Our sons are being expelled, suspended, detentioned, adjudicated, arrested because of white female racist teachers. Arrested, suspended, adjudicated, detained because of white female teacher racism. So if you want my vote, tell me, what are you going to do to bring more black males into our schools? The link for the new book, Black Parent Advocate, and every black parent needs to have that book, because if you get this book, you won't have to pay for your consultations anymore, because it's all in the book. If you get this book, you won't have to worry about paying Dr. Umar $50 for a consultation, because everything you're going to need to know and do is in Black Parent Advocate and Psychoacademic Holocaust. So the link is on my Facebook. I'm also going to post it once I'm done. You could text me for the book link as well. If you want to purchase the book, you can text me for the book link or email me for the book link. Okay, my cell number, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. Again, you're listening to the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, certified school psychologist, doctor of clinical psychology, and I will be releasing my new book in September entitled Black Parent Advocate, The Art of War for Being Victorious Against America's Public and Charter Schools. I am speaking in Atlanta tonight. Shrine of the Black Madonna, 7 o'clock. Doors open up at 5, and I'm speaking tomorrow for the very first time ever. Tomorrow, Montgomery, Alabama, Sunday, July 8th, for the first time ever. Doors at 2, lecture at 4. Can't wait for Atlanta. Can't wait for Montgomery. It is a back-to-back Georgia-Alabama weekend. It is a back-to-back Georgia-Alabama weekend. 215-989-9858. If you need to order Psychoacademic Holocaust, text me for the link. You could text me for a link to both books. Remember, Black Parent Advocate doesn't release to September. This is a pre-order. So you're not getting that book until September. Psychoacademic Holocaust, we can get that to you this month. Okay? Black Parent Advocate, the new book, doesn't ship until September. Psychoacademic Holocaust, the current book, we can ship that to you this month. For those of you who made orders the past week, please be patient with me. I was in the Bahamas. Shout out to the brothers and sisters from the Bahamas. I enjoyed you last week. University of the Bahamas, Alkeprin Academy, Cat Island, San Salvador. I love the Bahamas. Can't wait to come back to the Bahamas. Atlanta, I see you tonight. Montgomery, Alabama, I will see you tomorrow. Next question for a black politician. Next question for a black politician is real simple. Reparations. Reparations. No black politician is getting my vote unless I know they support reparations and have a plan to get reparations from those businesses and entities in that particular political locale who made money off the backs of black people. Okay? If you made money off the backs of black people during slavery, you owe us reparations, and no politician is getting my vote unless they support reparations. I'm not voting for you unless you support reparations. Barack Obama did not support reparations. Barack Obama did not support reparations. Barack Hussein Obama was opposed to reparations. Barack Hussein Obama was opposed to black power. Barack Hussein Obama refused to exonerate the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Barack Hussein Obama increased the federal bounty reward on the head of our Queen Mother, Assata Shakur. I am not a supporter of Barack Obama. Number 10, question for black politicians. Number 10, question for black politicians. Who are your funders? Who are your funders? A politician is only as loyal as the hand that feeds him or her. You never cast a vote in another election. I want every African watching this live stream seminar. I want every African watching this live stream seminar to promise me that you will never vote for a politician until you have seen a list of their campaign contributors. You will never vote for a politician unless you have seen a list of their campaign contributors. You never vote unless you know who's financing the politician, because a politician works for the agenda of their funders. Let me say that again. A politician, black or white, they work for the agenda of their funders. They work for the agenda of their funders. So if you don't know who's funding the black politician, you don't know what they're going to do when they get elected. But if you know who paid them, if you got a black person running for office and they got $1 million from the Fraternal Order of Police, you got a black politician running for office and they got $200,000 from the white teachers union, then you already know if a black politician gets any money from the police or the teachers union, let me say it again. If a black politician gets any money from the police union or the teachers union, you don't vote for them. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay? If you're being funded by the enemies of my community, why would I vote for you? Barack Hussein Obama was funded by plenty enemies of black folks. But because y'all was stuck in y'all Willie Lynch evangelical white savior complex, Barack Obama was able to get elected and do nothing for you with your support. To get elected and do nothing for you with your support. That's how sick Negroes are when it comes to being accepted by whites and for having a savior complex. Who is funding your campaign, brother? Can I please see a list of your funders? Black people never ask that question. Black people never ask that question. Black people never ask black politicians, can I please see your campaign contribution lists? Because if I'm running for office and the police send me a donation, I'm sending it back. I'm sending it back. I damn sure don't want your money because I got to go to war with y'all. Number 11. I know I said 10 questions, but I got a few more. I know I said 10 questions, but I got a few more. Tell me about your wife, your parents, your friends. Not their personal business. Not their personal business. But professionally and politically, where do they stand? Not their personal business. I don't have a right to their personal business. I don't want to know. But your father, what is your father? Well, my father is a federal judge. Okay. Let me go look at some of your father's federal decisions. Your mother? My mother is a prosecutor. My mother is an attorney for Bill Gates. Okay. Okay. Your wife? My wife is the superintendent of the school district and never done a damn thing to help them kids in her school district. But see, I need to know your frat brothers, your major frat brothers you hang with. This one is a lawyer for the police. This one over here is a Mason who's hooked to one of the largest undercover criminal organizations in the city. I need to know about your parents' political orientations and beliefs. I need to know about your wife's political orientations and beliefs. And I need to know about your close friends' political orientation and beliefs. And the reason why you want to know about the wife, the parents, and the close friends, because nobody is going to hang around people they don't agree with. No, there's no such thing. My parents are coons. My wife is a coon. My closest friends are coons. I'm not a coon. No such thing. No such thing. There's no way your father is a coon, your mother is a coon, your husband is a coon, all your girlfriends are bourgeoisie elitist coons, but you want me to vote for you in office when everybody you hang with has done nothing to help black folks, and I'm supposed to think you will? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Investigate the group. Dr. Umar Johnson will never run for office. Dr. Umar Johnson will never run for office. I'm not running. And you want to know why I'm not running? Two main reasons I'm not running. Reason number one. Wherever I would seek candidacy for an elected office, there will be white people who live there. There will be Chinese, there will be Arabs, there will be East Indians. I'm not interested in pushing the agenda of anyone other than black people. Let me say this again. I'm not interested in helping no white businesses. I'm not interested in helping no Chinese get a footing in my neighborhood. I'm not interested in no Latino agenda, no Arab agenda, no East Indian agenda, no Native American agenda. I'm not interested in helping any other culture push their agenda in my political district. And that's exactly what you got to do to get elected. Even if I didn't need their votes. After I win, I am obligated not to discriminate against those other cultures who live in my political district. I'm not interested in knowing what they need. I'm not interested in helping their agenda. I'm not interested in implementing their program. I am only interested in black people. That's it. That's it. I'm not kissing no white ass. I'm not kissing no Chinese ass. I'm not kissing no Arab ass. And guess what? Even without them, I would have a big problem. Even without them, I would have a big problem. And the reason I would have a big problem, even without them, is because Barack Obama helped create this monster, this great monster known as the LGBTQIP movement that has more political power than any black mainstream colorblind movement in American history. So in order for me to get elected, I would have to go through them. I'm not doing that. They would oppose me. They would do just what they do now. Go to the Pennsylvania State Board on me, GoFundMe, get my Twitter suspended, Facebook suspended. The black gays would oppose me more than white power. Let me say this again. The black LGBT movement would oppose Dr. Umar more than the white power structure. More than the white power structure. And because I know that, it would be an absolute waste for me to run for office. Because the entire narrative that the media would push. See, white folks are clever. They would be threatened by what I would do to white power. They would be threatened by what I would do to white power. But they're not going to put that out front because don't no black people care about no white power. So what they're going to do is they would use the LGBTQ, the black gays. They would put them out front, fund and finance them to come against me. So the black gays would be used as the gatekeeper to protect white power. I said they would use the black LBGT community to protect white power and white privilege from Dr. Umar Johnson. I would never run. I would never run. Okay? I would have to compromise too much of what I believe to be a politician in this country. I would have to sacrifice too much of my most sacred values in order to be a politician. So just like the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose gravesite I'm probably going to visit today, just like the good Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose gravesite I'm probably going to visit today, I must say no to running for office. Next question. If somebody's running for office, I'm going to ask them, do you go to church? And where do you go to church? Do you go to church? And where do you go to church? Now, some of you are going to say, why does Dr. Umar care if a potential black official is going to church? Hold on one second. I got to plug in the power cord. The reason I'm going to ask if a potential politician is going to go to church, if they go to church and where do they go to church, has nothing to do with religion. The question has nothing to do with religion. The question has to do with sincerity of purpose. If a person running for office, if a person is running for office and they go to a mega church under a pastor that has done nothing for the black community, if they're comfortable with that, if someone claiming to run for office so they can make a difference for black people is going to a church that has done nothing for black people, let me say this again. You're claiming you want to help black people, but you go to a church that has never done anything for black people, then you're not going to do much for black people, because there's no way that a man or woman who values black freedom and black success, it's impossible for you to go to a church that takes all this money and time from black folks and doesn't give us anything in return. There's no way. You are like the company you keep. You are like the company you keep. You are just like the company that you keep. And one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of people around me, I don't have a large inner circle, I'm often switching out and switching in my inner circle, is because people are not as sincere about the work as I am. I don't care about your personal life. In fact, one of the reasons that I get attacked so much personally is because politically they can't find a contradiction. My work, my 20 plus years of saving black children exceeds that of any other personality in the conscious community, in most personalities in black America at large. So because there is no contradiction in Dr. Umar's political work, they run to my personal. They want to try to defame me. I don't get into people's personal business because I'm not perfect, but I will get into your political. I want to know what you do in the community. I want to know who you are affiliated with. I want to know who you taking money from. I want to know what your interests are. I'm interested in your political. I don't need your personal. I don't need your personal. And I know some Negroes going to say, well, if you don't need my personal, why you got a problem with me having a white wife? You just said you're only concerned about my political works and behavior. So if that's the case, why is Dr. Umar worried about black men with non-African women? Because who you marry is a political decision. After you marry them, I don't care what's going on in your house. But when you come outside with your wife, that's not personal. That's public. That's political. That's who's standing next to you. That's who's sharing in your effort. If you get elected to public office, your white wife will be seen by every black child in the entire community. So your choice of a mate is political. What goes on in that house is personal. I'm going to say it again. Your choice of a mate is political because people will see them. They will be seen with you. So who you choose is political. What goes on in the house is personal. So I need you to understand, understand, and overstand that. I need you to understand, understand, and overstand that. Yes, you can text me for the book link. You can text me for both book links. You can text me for either book link. For the class, you can text me for the email. If you want to be in the first annual course of Pan-African philosophy, 12 Saturdays, 12 months. 12 Saturdays, 12 months. 144 class hours. You can only miss 2 classes. You can only miss 2 classes. Once you miss your 3rd class, you are discharged from the course. There is no refund. Once you miss the 3rd class, you are discharged from the course. There is no refund. It is not online. It is in person. The first class is in Philadelphia. And at the first class, we will choose the locations for the rest of the classes. If y'all want to keep all the classes in Philadelphia, we can do that. If it is going to be more convenient for those who are in the course to come to Philly, we will keep the classes in Philadelphia. If it's more convenient to rotate that one Saturday a month class, we will rotate. But the first class is Saturday, September 8th, Philadelphia. Deadline for registration is August the 1st. If you are interested in the course, you must email me, drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. Why am I not doing it online? Because this is leadership. And I don't believe leadership gets taught online. Leadership gets taught in person. That's why the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be in person. That's why the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be in person. I don't want an online school. I don't want an online school. I am old-fashioned. The old way is the best way. In your face. The email address is drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. drumarjohnson@yahoo.com. Phone number 215-989-9858. If you need personal one-on-one consultation for yourself or your child, we can do that too. Personal one-on-one consultation with yourself or your child, life coaching consultation, special ed mental health consultation. You can text me for that too. Donations to the school should be made payable to FDMG Academy. Donations to the school should be payable to FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 6872, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19132. All right? Donations to my work outside of the school can be made through PayPal. Okay? PayPal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or the Cash App, cash.me/$Dr. Umar Johnson. Next question. Who are you politically affiliated with? If you're running for office, you're going to get certain people to endorse you. If you're running for, you already donated to the school, you need to donate again. Donating to the FDMG is not a one-time thing, my brother. Don't ever say you donated already like you're done. You're not done until we have our school. Okay? Yes, I'm still looking for schools. Yes, I am still looking for schools. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. If you know of a school for sale, you need to take a picture of it, screenshot it, contact number, text it or email it to me. Yes, I am still looking for schools. And my mother has told me that she is not opposed to moving out of Philadelphia. My mother has told me she is not opposed to moving out of Philadelphia. So that's very good news, because I thought Queen Mother wanted to stay in Philadelphia. But she's not opposed to moving out of Philadelphia. All right? So Queen Mother Shoemake and Jermaine Shoemake may be relocating to a city near you if your city got the school we're looking for. Queen Mother Shoemake and Jermaine Shoemake may be relocating to your city if y'all got the school that we need. The last question is, who are you affiliated with? If someone is running for office, you should always seek to find out who is endorsing them, because any established entity that is endorsing them, black or white, is likely to exert a determining influence upon their decisions. Whomever is endorsing you for office exerts an influence on the decisions you make once you are in office. And because of that, it is important to know who's endorsed. If a black politician is being endorsed by a coon, if a black politician running for office is being endorsed by a white racist, they're telling you right now where their loyalties are. They're telling you right now where their affiliations are, brothers and sisters. So you need to find out who is endorsing them. Who are their affiliates within the party? What businesses is backing them up? You got somebody running for office and they getting a check from George Bush? George Bush donated to your campaign? I know you ain't got nothing in store for black folks that's worth anything. Okay? If they are backing you or funding you, you're no good for us. Follow the money, brothers and sisters. Follow the money. Well, that's all I had for this morning. I just want to let y'all know I was still alive, still doing well. You don't see me as much no more because I'll be hanging out with Queen Mother Barbara, enjoying my mother's time, you know, making sure she has what she needs. It's been really good for me to be around her so much lately. Okay? But it's time to start traveling again. It's time to start traveling again. So today we're in Atlanta, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow we're in Montgomery, Alabama, 4 o'clock. Get your tickets, drumarjohnson.eventb.com. If you live in Virginia or if you plan on coming to Virginia next Sunday, July 15th, you need to buy your tickets now. Okay? There's a chance that that lecture will be postponed if the ticket sales are not what I need them to be. All right, so I'm going to look at that on Monday. You have between now and Monday, and I'll decide if I'm going to still make the trip down to Suffolk. All right, and then we're off to Africa, Ethiopia, and Egypt, July 22nd to August the 6th. And then we are at Elizabeth City State University, August the 31st, and Raleigh, North Carolina, September the 2nd, Shreveport, Louisiana, Friday, September the 14th, and Dallas, Texas on Sunday the 16th. So this is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson. Thank you for your support. We shall win, and we shall have an FDMG. Peace and black power.